Alright, y'all. The streets ask, how could Gold Experience Requiem, believed to be the strongest stand of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, lose to Joker of all people? Adventure lose to Joker of all people. Alright, let's go about this in every possible category in question, okay? Firstly, strength versus strength. Does Gold Experience Requiem lose? This is strength before power, then we'll refer to power itself after. Our evidence for GER has been Damaging Diavolo and his King Crimson. Gold Experience hadn't been that strong in general, especially compared to our stronger stands that we know like Star Platinum and Crazy Diamond. But let's give the scenario that the power boost from GE to GER had put them above Star Platinum somehow, right? Let's have that idea. What does Joker have? Well, from what I've had to learn about Persona 5, it's a bit nuanced, right? Because Persona isn't like JoJo in the idea that Persona is two worlds and JoJo is the one. The world that they live in, the world inside of JoJo, is the same one that has stands. With Persona, you have two types of worlds where one, Ren, who is just a high school kid with no superhuman abilities and regular human limitations and can be stopped by a SWAT team, he exists. But then there's the metaverse, where Joker is everything he's supposed to be and can transcend way more than what could be comprehended. So with that considered, what's an example of strength that Joker does in this metaverse? Well, Joker trades punches with someone who can reshape all reality. I know it sounds ridiculous, but we don't have easy comparisons. These characters in the metaverse don't do just easy stuff, like blowing up a building with a punch and a town just casually, you know? Like the lore shoots up all the way, and it's unreasonable. The example is Yaldabaoth, who can merge our world with the world of everyone's thoughts and dreams. What? But boy, you might say but Kaleb, this is the metaverse, right? It's not the real world in Persona. That's true. It's not. But here's the thing. In the metaverse, these fights are completely real. You can die there. The damage is real. The threats are real. It's just happening in a different space where Joker has access to his full power. If the fight had just been with this regular version of Ren, where, you know, he's outside and being a regular old dude, yeah, Giorno could most likely beat him up, no stand required. It's just some kid. But whatever, you know? The next thing is speed. JoJo is fast, but Joker fighting this Yaldabaoth guy, this thing had been capable of, I'm being so for real, moving a fifth dimensional structure that is infinite in size into an area outside of space and time. That's how I can explain it. You can't conceptualize the type of speed required to fight someone like this, okay? I'm gonna genuinely try my best. This is the best that I've got right now, okay? Imagine you have a book, and each page of the book is like a complete universe, okay? Now imagine someone moving the entire library, but instantly. And that's still not even close to what Joker is dealing with. This is just one of the easier examples. Because, you know, this structure exists out of normal spaces like time and space completely. It just, being fast enough to move something like this that exists everywhere and nowhere at once, it's incomprehensible. Well, you know, is there a low-key version of Joker speed, Kaleb? Is there like a low-key thing that he does to get a better gauge? Reacting to electromagnetic waves? Yeah, like that's easier. That's way easier comparatively, but that's like an early thing. That isn't comparable to how Joker finishes the game. That's not even close to it. And there are other examples where, you know, people would put this other thing, right? This is my issue, okay? In Pokemon, Earthquake has 100% accuracy, right? If you lower the accuracy of the Pokemon, they can miss Earthquake, which normally has 100% again, which would mean that the other person, the person that got used Earthquake against, would dodged it, technically, you know? But the implication is weird to me. Like, yes, it can be taken as that, yes, they dodged, but it's so odd to me. So an attack like Morningstar in Persona, or, you know, Sephiroth Supernova, I can completely understand how you're supposed to conceptualize that, but it feels wrong, okay? It just feels weird. for the sake of scaling. It's an odd concept, but it's a real thing, and it's averagely used with power scalers and all that type of stuff. It's one of those things. Now, regardless, Gold Experience Requiem would just lose the speed category, okay? That's them being the most reasonable person right now. Durability here doesn't matter. You already heard what I said about the strength thing. What do you need to know about durability? It's not close, all right? It's not about the power. It's about like literal durability. Just put that aside, okay? Now it's time to address the biggest issue here, all right? Gold Experience Requiem's abilities and whether or not Revert to Zero can stalemate Joker or not. This is the main important thing that people are trying to get onto because social links, yada, 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 all the comments, I saw it, okay? First, let's break down what Revert to Zero does, okay? RTZ. Firstly, returns actions to zero before they happen, of course. It also nullifies the target's willpower because, you know, you can't get your willpower going to start doing the thing if you never do the thing, you know? Everything is being neutralized. And if Gold Experience kills you, then that itself can also be reverted to zero, and you die and it reverts to zero, and you die and reverts to zero. That's a death loop, all right? And this can work outside of the concepts of cause and effect and technically time and space due to this happening against Diavolo while he was using his time erasure. Now, you might be asking, you know, well, what does working outside of cause and effect mean? All right, think about it like this, right? You're editing a video. Normally, you have to film something first to have footage to edit it. But this would be like being able to edit footage that hasn't even been filmed yet, or changing what happened yesterday by doing something today. Like, you're just like, that just fundamentally breaks the rules of how time and events and cause and effect works. That's a whole different thing. Yes, exactly. That is the ability to control causality. Now, Revert to Zero seems perfect because it activates automatically. That's Gold Experience. Like, they just do that. It works before the actions happen. It operates outside of normal time, and it can be overcome with raw power. That's amazing. That's great. That's how GER neutralizes most fights against everybody, really. But here are the issues, all right? Social links had been what people thought was the dumb thing, and it's cheating as it involves other people, which is fair. I completely understand, because at that point, it doesn't look like a 1v1. That's what I thought. I'm like, oh, you need social links. What are you're getting a bunch of other guys, and that's cheating. It's a 1v1. What are you doing here? The issue is Joker has multiple layers of defense against Revert to Zero. That's what I'm learning, all right? So firstly, there's the will of rebellion. So imagine this. Revert to Zero tries to zero out on the willpower, but Joker's will works even when his mind is gone. It exists still when it doesn't exist. He's also resisted gods who control reality and tried to erase his will, just erasing it altogether. But his will is so fundamental to his being that something just can't be reverted to zero like that. You can't get rid of it. It just exists. Like, Giorno can revert an attack back to zero, but he can't revert a person's being in the same way that they are, you know? In the way that Goku has Zenkai, Naruto has Kurama, Joker, for some reason, has will. I haven't played the games. I'm just reading, right? After will, his character does do more. Joker's whole thing is defying fate. He has broken out of predetermined events and affected gods who view reality as fiction itself. There's also that omnipotent orb, right? Remember that? Which the name itself should tell you the whole story, but it's letting Joker control the logic of reality itself. And only something called almighty attacks can bypass it. What the heck is that, you know? I think just having it is one thing, but I saw it being addressed with Eyes of Heaven as a reference.
We don't do that here. So
No, we don't have to bring up Eyes of Heaven for this fight. That's just, it's not, I don't know, not canon to me, buddy. It's just not. Revert to Zero is incredibly powerful, but it's still, you know, just manipulating cause, effect, fate, right? Joker deals with those concepts. And just by looking at this entire document created by the G1 Death Battle fan blog that Jobber gave me, known GR hater, I know there's a dialogue to be had, that guy, but this is like real stuff, buddy, all right? Revert to Zero just couldn't effectively counter Joker. And if it did, it would have to do the following, right? Revert to Zero would have to overcome dimensional transcendence. It would have to bypass fundamental law manipulation. It would have to bypass high level fate manipulation resistance. And it would have to be able to stop attacks that explicitly bypass reality manipulation. And we just don't have anything about that, as our only reference is beating up Diavolo of all people. I think that's the reason why the matchup in general to me hadn't really been fair. Alright, well my mic went out and I found out I have another one somewhere in my setup. Do you think I'm just gonna start doing a video tomorrow where it's just like, oh hey everybody, we're gonna be doing Gilgamesh from Fate? Well anyways, I would love to cover extremely broken characters, but doing it against JoJo characters would probably not be the best idea, as I don't want to develop a name as someone who consistently works against JoJo, even though I like it. But I will say, the outcome made sense. The explanation for the viewers is a whole different thing. I thought they did a good enough job to get the idea across, but when you explain more, there's a lot less room for misinterpretation, and on the internet, that matters a lot. So thank you all for watching. Hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. And until then, peace out and Godspeed.